this is something I discovered recently. I had never noticed this before. What do you notice in that first picture? And in the top right circle of the second picture, the word united is lowercase.
Exactly.
It was an adjective. It wasn't. This is 1776, according to the date on the paper. The word united was not part. It was the states of America, and united was an adjective. And you see that circle down on the lower left says that we are free. That they are free and independent states. And it says that in a couple of places. In fact, the word states that's just to the top left of that circle is a continuation of the same sentence. So I noticed this recently, and I thought, it's interesting. At what point did united become actually part of the name of the country versus just an adjective? That there was in the Articles of Confederation a few years later, before the Constitution, they did talk about a union, a perpetual union, but the perpetual union was based on the idea that each state, and I wrote this down so I could say it right, provided that each state should retain its sovereignty, freedom, and independence. Now, that's before the Constitution. That was the Articles of Confederation, which came. So I maintain, in spite of what Miss What's Her Name, tried to explain to me on Instagram, I don't think that the intention was. They argued about how big the national government should be, but I don't think it was ever thought of to be what we have today, which is this sort of bloated. What do you guys? Agree with? So,
I wish, you know what we should have Trevor do? Is we should set Trevor up with the ability to research on the spot as we're talking and then fire like information, because we're just random everyday people. Yeah. We're not historians. We're not,
it
right?
Depends on how fast he can think and type. But
he might even know the answer to this. Right. So I'm going to venture a guess as to when the United became more important. Just a guess.
Yeah.
Post-Civil War.
Ooh.
Absolutely. So I think the first moment was we, the people of the United States, and so the Constitution, right, starts in order to form a more perfect
union.
More perfect
union, right? But at that moment, and then you go to the Civil War, Lincoln thought of it as nobody can leave this union. This union is perfect. We will fight you. There is no option for any state to leave the Federation, right?
We in Texas always reserve the right. I just have to make that disclaimer.
But having said that, yes, the federal government is enormous. I think we can, I think it's two different things. One is whether, the country should be united, whether it is a single entity. Yes, I think this country is it's not the sum of the parts, it's a single entity. But the federal budget is enormous.
I would argue that we ought to appear as. Well, if I go back and I look at what they were trying to do, to me, it looks like they wanted to be a single entity to the outside, but independent entities on the inside. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the way we deal with the rest of the world, then we are one country, but within the country, we are these individual states. And I think, and I haven't found any, I was about to say I haven't found any evidence of this in the writings that I've read, but maybe there is. It kind of solves the problem of scale, right? Like, this is your wheelhouse, right? Scale.
Yeah.
By allowing us to operate as individual states at a certain level, it avoids the problem of how do you solve, or it gives us a way to be a very large country and still deal with problems at a smaller level.